For decades, Germany was recognized not only for its economic strength and industrial prowess, but also for its unique position in global politics. The country became a symbol of stability and prosperity in Europe, with its cities bustling with commerce and innovation. Yet, beneath this economic success, Germany maintained a very different approach when it came to military power. This cautious stance was deeply shaped by the traumas of the 20th century, two devastating world wars and the division of the country during the Cold War. The memory of conflict and destruction lingered, influencing generations of Germans to view military force with skepticism and restraint. As a result, defense spending remained consistently low. The Bundeswehr, Germany's armed forces, often struggled with outdated equipment and limited resources. Many critics, both inside and outside the country, described the military as underfunded and ill-prepared for modern challenges. This policy of military restraint reassured not only Germans but also neighboring European countries. The shadow of German militarism from the past made many wary of any resurgence in military ambition. For decades, Germany's commitment to peace and diplomacy was seen as a cornerstone of European stability. But in a stunning turn of events, Germany recently shocked the world by announcing a massive increase in defense spending. The government pledged to invest billions of euros to modernize its military, signaling a dramatic departure from its previous policies. This decision marks the most significant shift in German security policy since the end of the Cold War. It's a move that has sent ripples through NATO and the European Union as Germany steps into a more assertive role on the continent. Across the country, leaders and citizens are now openly debating how to build a stronger, more capable army. Questions about strategy, recruitment, and Germany's responsibilities in global security are at the forefront of public discussion. But this transformation isn't just about acquiring new tanks or advanced technology. It represents a fundamental rethinking of Germany's identity and its role within Europe and the wider world. Germany's allies are watching closely. Some are relieved, hoping that a stronger German military will help balance security in Europe. Others remain cautious, mindful of the country's complex history and the potential implications of this shift. So, why is Germany, a nation long committed to military restraint and diplomacy, making such a dramatic change now? What forces have pushed the country to reconsider its approach to defense and security? To truly understand this transformation, we need to look back at Germany's history, the lessons learned from past conflicts, and the recent global events that have forced the nation to rethink its place in the world. Only by examining both the past and the present can we grasp the full significance of Germany's big shift on defense. After World War II, Germany was left devastated, physically, economically, and morally. Cities lay in ruins, infrastructure was shattered, and millions of lives had been lost or uprooted. The scars of war were visible everywhere, from the bombed-out buildings to the haunted expressions of survivors. The horrors of the Nazi era and the unimaginable destruction it caused created a deep sense of national guilt. Germans were forced to confront the atrocities committed in their name, leading to a powerful pacifist sentiment that would shape the country's identity for generations. For many, military force became synonymous with catastrophe and moral failure. The idea of peace, reconciliation, and never repeating the mistakes of the past became the new national ideal, embraced by both leaders and ordinary citizens. This commitment to peace was enshrined in the Basic Law, Germany's new constitution, which strictly limited military action and placed strong checks on the use of force. The constitution made it clear, Germany would never again be the aggressor. When the Bundeswehr, Germany's new military, was founded in 1955, it was designed solely for defense. Its structure, training, and even its public image emphasized that it was not a tool for power projection or foreign adventures. For decades, the idea of deploying German troops abroad was unthinkable. The military's role was strictly limited to protecting German territory and supporting NATO allies in case of direct attack. During the Cold War, Germany's military was fully integrated into NATO, but its focus remained on defense, not aggression. German soldiers trained alongside allies, but always with the understanding that their mission was to prevent conflict, not start it. Even after reunification in 1990, pacifism remained a powerful force in German society. Every proposed military deployment sparked intense public debate, protests, and soul-searching about the country's responsibilities and its past. Instead of military might, Germany relied on diplomacy, economic aid, and soft power to achieve its goals on the world stage. The country became known for its humanitarian efforts and commitment to international cooperation. This deep-rooted pacifism explains why Germany's defense spending remained so low for so long. Investing in weapons and military expansion was seen as a betrayal of the lessons learned from the past, and the focus stayed on peace, stability, and rebuilding trust with the world. After the Cold War, optimism swept Europe, and Germany slashed its defense budget. The Bundeswehr shrank from 500,000 to under 200,000 soldiers, and conscription ended in 2011. The military's focus shifted to small international missions, but funding lagged behind. Chronic underinvestment led to embarrassing failures: tanks that wouldn't run, planes that couldn't fly, soldiers trained with broomsticks instead of rifles, highlighting systemic neglect. Germany, Europe's largest economy, had a military in alarming decline. Despite NATO's call for 2% of GDP on defense, Germany hovered around 1.2–1.4%. Political will was lacking, and the public was skeptical of higher military spending. This era of neglect set the stage for the urgent changes that followed. The world was about to force Germany's hand. Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022 shattered Germany's security assumptions. The war brought tanks and bombs back to Europe, ending the illusion of perpetual peace. Germany's policy of change through trade with Russia was exposed as a failure. Reliance on Russian gas left Germany vulnerable to blackmail. The poor state of the Bundeswehr meant Germany couldn't contribute meaningfully to Europe's defense. Diplomacy alone was no longer enough. A credible military deterrent was essential. The invasion triggered a wave of soul-searching in Berlin and among the public. The old approach was no longer viable, change was urgent. Germany faced an existential crisis for its security order. The stage was set for a historic policy reversal. Just days after the invasion, Chancellor Olaf Scholz addressed Parliament and declared a Zeitenwende, a turning point. He announced a €100 billion special fund to modernize the Bundeswehr and pledged to meet NATO's 2% spending target. This was a stunning reversal for a country long resistant to military investment. Scholz called for a strong, combat-ready military focused on national and collective defense. Germany would take more responsibility for European security. The announcement united Parliament and sent shockwaves across Europe. Allies welcomed Germany's new commitment. The Zeitenwende marked Germany's emergence as a security heavyweight. This was more than policy. It was a declaration of intent. Germany's defense overhaul rests on 4 pillars. First, the direct threat from Russia. Ukraine-proved military force is still a reality in Europe. Second, fulfilling NATO commitments and reassuring allies by finally meeting the 2% spending target. Third, modernizing the Bundeswehr after decades of neglect with new equipment and technology. Fourth, boosting Germany's political and economic influence in Europe and beyond. A stronger military gives Germany more weight in diplomacy and supports the EU's goal of strategic autonomy. Defense spending will also stimulate German and European industry. These pillars are designed to make Germany a cornerstone of European security. The transformation is as much about leadership as it is about hardware. The €100 billion fund is fueling a rapid modernization of the Bundeswehr. The Air Force is buying F-35 fighter jets to maintain NATO's nuclear deterrence. New heavy-lift helicopters and upgraded Leopard 2 tanks will boost mobility and firepower. The Army is replacing outdated vehicles and equipping soldiers with modern gear, rifles, night vision, and body armor. The Navy is getting new frigates and submarines to secure the Baltic and North Atlantic. A major focus is digitalization, upgrading communications and command systems for modern warfare. Investments cover not just hardware but also logistics, spare parts, and training infrastructure. The goal? A fully equipped, operational, and sustainable force. Germany aims to fix past failures and build a military fit for 21st century challenges. Despite the funding, Germany faces major obstacles. Bureaucratic red tape and slow procurement processes threaten to delay modernization. The special fund is temporary. Sustaining high defense spending will require tough political choices. The defense industry can't ramp up production overnight after decades of low demand. Recruiting and retaining skilled personnel is another challenge, especially as the military becomes more high-tech. Making a military career attractive to young Germans is crucial. Success depends on reforming bureaucracy, industry, and recruitment. The transformation is about more than money. it's about changing mindsets. Germany's Zeitenwende, or historic turning point, could fundamentally reshape the landscape of European security for decades to come. This shift marks a dramatic departure from Germany's post-war restraint, signaling a new era in which the country is poised to take on greater responsibility for its own defense and for the security of the continent as a whole. If Germany's ambitious plans succeed, the Bundeswehr will become one of Europe's most capable and modern armies. This transformation would allow Germany to assume a true leadership role within both NATO and the European Union, shaping the continent's collective defense strategies and policies. Germany's increased investment in defense will also strengthen its partnerships with key allies, fostering deeper cooperation and trust. A stronger, better-equipped Bundeswehr means more balanced burden sharing among NATO members and a much tougher deterrent against potential threats, especially from Russia. This could help reassure Eastern European allies and contribute to the overall stability of the region. With its renewed military strength, Germany could drive the development of a more unified European defense policy, advancing the EU's goal of strategic autonomy. This would enable Europe to respond more effectively to crises, both within its borders and beyond, and reduce its reliance on external powers. However, significant questions remain. Can Germany truly overcome its deeply rooted pacifist legacy and sustain this new, more assertive role? The shift requires not just new equipment, but also a change in mindset among politicians, the military, and the public. Germany's neighbors will be watching closely, some with hope, others with caution, wary of the implications of a revived German military power. The memories of history linger, and trust must be rebuilt over time. Ongoing debate about the use of force, the limits of military power, and the ethical responsibilities of leadership is inevitable. These discussions will shape the future of German defense policy and its role in Europe. In a world facing rising threats, from conventional military aggression to cyber attacks and hybrid warfare, Germany's shift is a necessary response to new and evolving realities. The stakes are high, and the challenges are complex. The journey ahead will be difficult and full of debate, but it may prove essential for the future security and unity of Europe. Germany's choices today will echo for generations, shaping not just its own destiny, but that of the entire continent.